Hi guys, it's Jim from Jim and Jay's Final Say here on Palace Fan TV. Post West Brom review video. Palace lost 2-0 at home to the Baggies. It ended a 4-game winning streak, looking for 5 wins on the bounce, which didn't happen. Would have been a club record, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I usually am. But 4 wins on the bounce ended 2-0 to West Brom on the day. Great day, great lovely sunny day at Selhurst, packed out stadium, great crowd. Unfortunately we lost. It was kind of written, wasn't it, that he who shall not be named with his West Brom team returning to Selhurst for the first time since ditching us at the start of the season would probably come away with a win. And I think on the day, I mean, Palace played very well. And in fact, after the game in the pub, no one seemed that bothered because we had a good game. We dominated possession. We just didn't really create enough sort of clear-cut chances. And when we did, you know, Balassi's bicycle, Gale had a header in the second half. You know, Balassi's bicycle was saved. Gale hit the bar, but really aside from that, we didn't have a lot of clear-cut chances. So, and West Brom didn't either. In fact, both teams had 4 shots on target, I think, in the game, and West Brom made theirs count. So, you know, you might have to say they deserved it. Although I think over the balance of play, we deserved at least a point, if not a win, because we did play well. It was kind of written that what's his name? He who shall not be named will come back and win after everything, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, in a pub afterwards on Saturday, no one seemed that bothered because we are all but safe. Mathematically, we're not yet, but we'll pick up the next few points, I think, to stay up. If we don't, it would be, you know, the worst turnaround ever in the Premier League. But I think this is a different Palace. This is different to teams before. We're not going to throw it away. This is something quite real, if you will. And I don't think it's going to be quite as catastrophic, is that a word? As it may have been in the past. So we're going to be all right. We've got Hull next weekend, probably beat them, hopefully, and mathematically secure ourselves. But, you know, Mr. Pulis, didn't want to say his name, he knows our team very well, and, you know, with the set piece, he sort of exploited some slack defending. So, in fact, they both came from set pieces, both goals. So he did his homework. It was nice to see it wasn't a real sort of villain's welcome back to Selhurst, because he's not a villain, he's not a hero, he's sort of neither really. And it's nice that I didn't applaud him, but I didn't boo him either. And I think that seems to be most people's approach to it, which is fair enough. You know, we'd rather concentrate on our own manager. And what was nice was Alan Pardew's Red and Blue Army ringing out loud and clear, which is something that Pulis had to wait a while to get. You know, Tony Pulis' Red and Blue Army, it came after a few months really. So for him to see that we're already on Pardew's side, I think is the biggest indication of how far we've moved on. And we're not really that fussed about him anymore, which I think is the best way to be. Frustrating day, you know, on Saturday really as a whole. Ledley at left back didn't really work, and Soiree coming on, I thought he had a very good second half, albeit he didn't have any defending to do, which we know is his kind of weak side of his game, and he needs to work on, because West Brom were happy to have 10 behind the ball. But going forward, he looked very good, putting some brilliant crosses, and links up with Balassi well down the left. So that is promising. I think everyone went away from Selhurst on Saturday looking forward to seeing more of Soiree towards the end of the season. So that could be, that's one positive. Aside from that, though, it was as you were really with previous games. We just didn't quite connect up top. But when you got a team like West Brom, they get their early goal, then they're happy to defend and put 10 behind the ball. You know, Murray, Wilf and Balassi found themselves being doubled up on by defenders, you know, tripled up in Wilf's case in a few times. So it was always going to be difficult to create real chances. But we didn't play badly at all. We dominated possession, and we looked positive going forward. And I think we always look like we're capable of creating chances when we go forward, and that's what's nice about this team. Certainly I think that's progressed under Pardew than it did under Pulis, but it didn't quite click on Saturday. But, you know, it was still a lovely day out. You know, it was a nice sunny day, and everyone was in a good mood as well, which is great at the moment. There's a real positive energy around the club as we head into next season, hopefully, in our third year in the top flight. So it was all right. I mean, it was frustrating to lose to you-know-who, but so what? We're bigger than that, and we've moved on, and we're looking forward to next season and the more progress we can make. So there you go. I'm not gonna, you know, hang around on the whole Pulis thing for too long, because we've moved on. But on the day, a good performance, but just that thing up front didn't quite work. But hopefully next Saturday will be better going forward, and we'll get some more goals. So there you go. That's my review. Here's Jay from the Eagles Beak with his thoughts on Saturday's game. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you like what we're doing, and comment below and all that jazz, because we do appreciate all the interaction from you guys watching these videos. So that's it from me. Here's Jay, and see you again soon. Bye.
Hey guys, here's our latest video. Looking back at the visit of West Brom and Albion yesterday, but I'll start by saying I've just been down to watch one of the Palace ladies development teams today, playing locally in a cup final. Unfortunately, they lost to Fulham 2-1, narrow defeat, but the Palace ladies played really well, so fair play to them, well done. Unfortunate that it didn't take the cup, but a good game all the same. It was great to meet the chairman, Richards, down there, and also when I talked with Michael, chat to both quite a lot on Twitter, and Michael gives us a lot of photos for the site, so thank you to him. And thank you to Richard for allowing us to cover the Palace ladies this year. And we're looking forward to doing the same again next year. So yeah, it's really good covering a part of the club which perhaps doesn't get quite the recognition that others do. So we're hoping that we can carry on promoting them a bit more. And you know, there's some really great things going on at the club. So it's worth either checking out the ladies, either the teams. They start from all ages really, all the way through the club, and it's a great setup. So so fair play to everybody involved. That's really great. Enjoyed my time down there, meeting some of the people, and yeah, hopefully I can catch a few more. So looking back to the West Brom game now, obviously wasn't the best result for us. A lot of fans were very confident about the game really. I was probably one of a few which was a bit concerned about the return of Pulis. There was no chance of me booing him, that's not my style, I don't agree with that sort of thing, and fair play to the Palace fans, gave him a good reception when he came out at the start of the game. The game itself went completely the way of West Brom. If you'd have asked Tony Pulis how he wanted it to go, he would have said exactly that, get an early goal, and then it played into their hands really. And we were thoroughly Pulis yesterday. We were a little bit off colour. We were never going to match the result that we got at Sunderland the week before. But there's no, you know, the Palace players tried. Wilf was in great form in the first half, really having a go at Chris Bunt, who he was facing for the majority of that half. He faded in and out the second half, Zaha, but for me he was our man of the match. He showed an awful lot in the game. Murray didn't really get his usual thing going, didn't really batter the defenders, and they're a big back line, the West Brom. And I've spoken to a few West Brom fans before and since, and they you know, since the game they were surprised that they got the result. But you know, John Moss, the referee, wasn't that great either, but you can't blame referees for losses. There was a few odd decisions. I mean, Pardew being one down at half time changed things. I mean, that's what good managers do. You know, look to address problems and make changes to address those. It's a bit odd to see Yednak go off. He did have a bit of on the end of a harsh challenge from Jakob late in the first half, which wasn't punished, but whether that had anything to do with it, I haven't caught up on whether he got an injury or got a knock. But both Gale and Soiree came on, and Soiree was very impressive. Attacking wise, he really whipped in some balls, and I think Gale hit the crossbar with one of them, and also Sonogo. I think it was Soiree cross, might have been Blassie, I can't remember now. Yesterday was a bit of a blur now. I mean, it was a 2-0 home defeat to West Brom. You know, they've pretty much secured their Premier League status now. Pulis is never going to let them play like they did the week before against Leicester. They let in 2 late goals to lose the game in what was a big game for them, and he was never going to let that happen against us. Shocking early goal, really, looking back at it. Free header. Should never happen that early in the game. Whose fault it was, I don't know. Puncheon looked flat-footed. He was a man who wasn't picking anybody up. So, but I mean, fair play to West Brom. I did pinpoint one of my previews for a fellow West Brom site that that Gardner was a player that we should watch because he's got a shot on him. Unfortunately, to say I was right, because he did exactly that. We gave space. The ball came out to him, and he hit hit a ball like he does. I've seen him do it a few times before. and from that distance it came for a crowd of players, and Speroni really had no chance. And to be fair, Speroni didn't have an awful lot to do in the game. I think he made a good save after a mistake from Daly. Berahino got through into the 6-yard box and that went wide. Other than that, we kind of had a good go at West Brom, but we just couldn't find that finish. We couldn't find that final. Maybe used them all up at Sunderland the week before. It is a disappointment, but these games happen. They come along. We lost to Everton at home like that. We lost to Villa at home, very similar to an early goal, and then it kind of went on from there. And Sunderland at home as well. I thought Pardew coming in might have addressed that, but I think yesterday was one of those games. We all saw it, and perhaps that kind of puts into perspective the fact that maybe we're not a top 10 side. We know we still have a way to go to become a top 10 side. I'm not saying we can't finish top 10. We still have some tough games to go, but I think looking ahead, Hull next week would be a different ball game completely. I think Pulis knew a lot about Palace, the Palace players, obviously from when he was at the club, and he used that to his advantage. So yeah, West Brom went away with probably just about maybe a deserved 3 points. I don't know. If we'd have taken our chances, then I think, particularly if we'd have gone in level at half time, we probably would have gone on to win the game. But hey, not grumbling about a loss. We lose to Pulis, our former boss. One of those things, isn't it? We move on. I mean, we had a 4-point gap between us and Everton before the game yesterday. They caught us up now, so we could probably drop down the table if we don't get a result against Hull next week. But like I mentioned, that's a different game. I don't think they're going to be as tactically aware, perhaps as West Brom were, and West Brom are a big defensive unit, to be fair. So yeah, look ahead to next week. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy these videos as ever. Leave your comments below the video. Subscribe to the Palace Fan TV videos. You can also catch us all on Twitter and on Facebook. So we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.